showing as much as we can possibly show of this product. This being the quick service restaurant portion of our product. It's really, this demo is going to be more about showing you what's there and telling you what the features and functionality of them are, as opposed to going through the functions and features and showing you the process of going through all of those different functions. It's really just to show you what's capable of being done in the system. So from here, this would be our login screen. Every single employee would be, or manager, administrator would be logging in from here based on the role that they have in their system. There would be an administrator, which you're going to see today, that's access to the entire system. We have managers that have access to everything except for their configuration, so they won't be able to change things like your any of your gateway information, any of your third-party information, but they'll still be able to manage products and change inventory. Then we also have a clerk level. That would be your typical employee that would just have access to the front of house and their the clock and features. We do have the ability to go across multiple different profiles. So if we have multiple locations, if we have different profiles within the same location, we can actually easily split back and forth between the two of them. To get into the system, we'll just go ahead and enter in whatever PIN it is that we have. And you can see that there is a little bit of a log there, so you can see who was the last person to log into the system. Being an administrator, I'm brought right into the configuration. One of the things that is a stand apart about our system, it is a cloud-based system, and that allows a lot of flexibility in terms of the hardware that's available to be used, the different setups that you want to be doing with that. We also have flexibility in terms of where you can access everything in the system, so you don't have to physically be on site to do your any of your reporting, any of your administrative duties that you would need to do. If you want to see sales in real time, all of that's going to be available to you without having to physically be there. All of your different metrics in terms of your reporting, any changes you do to your configuration, changes to inventory, changes to product offerings, anything like that that you do, any new employees, all of that is instant. The second that you do it, it's going to change the way things are in the system. So there's no thinking of back office to front office. Everything happens in real time. What we have back here is our settings that we have in terms of modules. What we do for the modules is that's how we're able to have one system that's able to be used in a lot of different verticals, a lot of different businesses. So this being the quick service restaurant, we have everything set up that we would need for quick service. If for some reason we needed to do a barcode scanner, we can turn that module on, and that's now going to be available to us in the sales section. Same with delivery, different coupon modules, food service module, all of those different types of things. So if we have a new business, and this is a really good thing for brand new businesses, is that they'll have an idea of what their business model is going to be when they start. They'll get the point of sale, and then they'll realize 3 months down the road that they actually need to follow the market in a completely different direction. We have with these modules and with these different settings and the point of sale, they can customize and tailor this point of sale so that it's actually going to be able to morph with their business. So if they started out not doing delivery and then they decided they needed to do it down the road, they don't need to contact us. They just switch on the module, and it's available for them to use. So we have different things in terms of employees or different features that you would want to be doing within the system. Different policy measures can be done as well in terms of who's allowed to do what, who's allowed to do refunds, who's allowed to do comps, who's allowed to do discounts. Same with printing, reporting, and different security measures as well. Other things that we can do in terms of configuration from the back end is we do have custom discount types. So if you want to have a discount that's very specific to your area, that's something that you can do in there. We do also have a messaging through the system. We can do custom sales types as well. We'll also have the ability to do different pricing based on these sales types. So if we want to have a pricing scheme for wholesale versus retail, we can have different sales types, and we can have the different pricing that would fall into there as well. And then any store information we have can be edited at any moment's notice. And we also do have custom tender types as well. So with the custom tender types, those are things like store credit, gift certificate, if we're doing promotional dollars in store. Those are things that we can set up as forms of tender within the system. And then those forms of tender will always be available for us to use as a valid form of tender. So let's just go ahead and jump on ahead to the sale portion. This is at the front of the house. Everything is laid out to be a little bit more similar to a tablet application than a traditional point of sale. Traditional point of sales are in grayscale, lots of buttons, very complex navigation. You have to learn how to get around the system before you can even start to begin to use it. What we have here is you're able to just kind of pick it up right away if you're familiar at all with using a tablet application. You have your main navigation around the system at the very top. Your subheader is your navigation for the front of house. We have all of the different categories that are available for sale down here. Being that it's a cloud product, there's no limit on the inventory. There's no limit on your categories. There's no limit on what you have to offer. We have customers that have over 40,000 items of inventory that are using the system, and it behaves for them the same way that it does for our coffee shops that only have a few dozen items. So it is a very flexible product in terms of what you're able to scale with in terms of the business and what you're going to be able to offer. So we can either have the actual items underneath the category like you see here, or we can have subcategories under there as well. So if we want to have any kind of further delineation and being able to find those things, we can do that. We're going to build our order on this left-hand side in our order pad here. It's going to tell us the table. If we have table maps, it's going to tell us the name of the customer, or it's just going to be our new sale. So let's just go ahead and do a quick sale here. This one's going to be for dine-in. And when I add things to our order pad, we have force modifiers that can be done. So those are different things that you would want to do in terms of if there's a choice of a side that comes with a dish, if there's a temperature for a meat, a dressing for a salad. Those are things that all have to be selected to be able to move forward. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Somebody was playing around with these mods because those really don't match up to an artichoke spin dip. But you can see here that we also do support allergen information. We do support nutrition information. There are a few states where if you are above a certain number of locations, you are required to have this information available. So we do have it something that is supported, and the client can use that based on whether or not they choose to. That is up to them. If we need to get any kind of extended product records, by clicking on the item, we get a full bevy of different things that we're able to do here. If we just wanted to see the description of the item and we didn't really need to add it to the cart, now we can just delete it. If we needed to do any further modifications, we do have all mods that are more of our generic modifiers that we can put across a lot of different items. So if we wanted to do, for this one, if we wanted to add something, we wanted to substitute something, we want to say no of this, and we want to sub this instead, we want to do extra of something else. We have all of those different options here that we're able to select from, and that will add to the item. So for this one, I'm just going to do, just as an example, we'll say no cheddar, and we want to substitute Swiss instead, and we want extra bacon. You can see all of that does follow through onto the item when it's been placed into that order pad. We do have modifiers that can be made specific to the item as well. So if there's something that is only going to be on this item as a modifier and you want it limited that item, we can do that as well for both adding and taking away. Generally speaking, in the boarding process, we will advise our customers that they put all of the items that can be pulled off of the item as their modifier to take away, so that way if somebody wants the item no cheese, the item no bacon, the item no something or the other, they can have that pulled off of the item through the modifiers. If we're doing a repeat, we can do a repeat of this item and all of the modifiers underneath it. That's something that's very handy when we have alcohol sales. If somebody's just doing another round, all they have to do is hit repeat. They don't have to do Bacardi plus Coke plus cherry plus lime. They can have everything just kind of go in. If we needed to comp this item as a line item, we can do that as well. We do support weights, so that if for some reason you were doing something that's a sale by weight, you can put in the weight and it will calculate that weight for you. You can split the item at the item level. So if we needed to split that across multiple tickets, or for some reason we wanted to do like a split item like a pizza, where you wanted to have it half pepperoni, half mushroom, that's something that you can do to split that item. Extended nutrition information is available here as well. So if you have somebody that's asking about sodium content, saturated fat, something like that, if you have programmed that into the system for the item, then that will be available. And if we needed to go back to those force modifiers, we can do that as well. And then we also have line item notes for all of these items. So if there's some other note that needs to be sent into the kitchen about this, maybe we forgot to place the order and we need to rush it, or there's some kind of very specific custom request that's not something that's programmed as a modifier for this item, we can do the line item notes and still have that go through. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and send that in, show you all the different tender options that we have. So once we've sent this in, we have cash. We can do check. Check is something that can be turned on and off based on whether or not you accept those. We do have coupons supported in the system. That would be coupons that you set up through the system. It's not a manufacturer's coupon. So that's going to be things that can be for an item or across the whole order. You can set the limit on how long that coupon runs in terms of the date range, and you can also set a limit on how many you'll qualify. So if you only want 50 coupons to be redeemed, you can set the limit at 50, and once you hit that threshold, it will no longer accept the coupon. Credit is there. We do have different delivery options when we are doing delivery. And this was set as a dine-in, so it's not going to let me go into there. But we can select from our drop-down menu on our delivery. We could put in an address by linking the client there. And we can also and see if they're within our delivery area. And then we can also link a delivery to a specific delivery driver. So there is accountability on who's responsible for the order, who's responsible for the money when it does come back in. And one of the things that we do have, you can see over here in the that subheader on the far right is our tab section. We do have a lot of quick service clients that use this a lot to be able to keep track of their orders. All it is clicking on tab and you put in somebody's name. And you can use that to very easily keep track of all delivery orders that are out on the street. Or if you have call-in orders, people are coming in and picking up for the whole office, they can do tabs as well. And it's something that's a very simple way to keep track of all those different open orders that you have in the system. But back to this feature, we have our discounts. We have 3 different ways that those can be applied. You can see at the bottom those store-defined discounts we touched on at the very beginning. At the very top, we have flat rate discounts. So if we just want to do a $5 discount straight across the board on here, we can do that. Or if we wanted to do a predefined in terms of percentage, we can do that as well. I'll just go ahead and do a 5% discount here. And you can see how that does apply pre-tax for everything on the order pad that we have right there. Guest information is things that we can get into for our client management perspective. If we have a client link to this order, we can actually invoice. So if we do any wholesaling, we can invoice this to a customer, and we can actually email the invoice through the system directly to the customer. We do support the loyalty programs. If we wanted to pay with any kind of loyalty reward that we build up through the system, that's where we can do that option. Also manual credit cards, so if over the phone or the card's not reading. We can also merge and transfer tickets, so if we need to do the situation where somebody's moving from one table to another, or they want to get their friend's ticket and you just want to merge them together, you could do that. You can also transfer if you're transferring a ticket from one employee to another. That would be more the situation where maybe somebody's leaving at the end of their shift, or somebody's brought a waitress to tears and she can't go back up to the table. You can go ahead and transfer that to somebody else. We do have notes on the order, so if there's any other notes that can be put in there, that's something that's usually a good idea for delivery. If you need to do something like ring the doorbell, or house gate is around back, something like that. Open item and open liquor, if there's anything that needs to be added to this ticket that is not on the menu, but is something that we're going to be honoring as a guest request, something very unique, maybe a kid only eats buttered pasta, you can do that as an open item. And when you do those open items, you can put in the amount that you're going to charge as well as the description of it, so you know what that charge is based on. And we have that separated on open item and open liquor, so if you have different tax rates for liquor versus your regular food, you'll be having the appropriate tax rate that will go in there. So in the event that somebody's ordering some kind of fancy fun shot that has a whole bunch of different liquors in there, you don't know what to charge for it, that's where you can use that open liquor option. Printing the ticket is there. If we've added anything to this and we want to resend it, we can go ahead and hit send. We do have service charge, so if you do delivery charges, that's where you can apply that. Split check and split pay is also supported. Split check is if we have multiple items on here, we need to do Sally gets the spin dip and Becky gets the artichoke salad, and then Brad gets the pepperoni pizza. We could split out by item. And then if we have the split pay, that's where you have 2 people out to lunch and they just both put down the credit card, they split it down the middle. That's where we can do that. If we needed to void this transaction, we can void it. And then we also have all of our different custom tender types at the very, very bottom. Let's go ahead and cash this one out as cash. And we do have both exact change, and we do have predicted numbers as well. And then we also have the ability to print a receipt, not print a receipt. And this is something that can be toggled on or off. This is something that you'll see more in like coffee shops. If somebody just gets a coffee and you can ask, do you want your receipt? No, that's okay. So but we're going to go ahead and print that. So we have all of our change to the client that's there, and we're ready to start our next sale. Let's show you real quick the client section. This is our full client management. And we can, from here, this is where we can attach people to orders, where we can invoice to customers, where we can track any loyalty programs, any loyalty members, any addresses. Because we have the delivery module turned on, I can see the address of the different, where this person actually is based on their map that we have here. So obviously that's way outside of the delivery area. We're not going to deliver to Las Vegas from Chicago, but you can kind of see how that works. This one would probably be a little bit better. Yeah, so you can see here if somebody's within your service area by looking at their client. We can also see if they're a member of our loyalty program, and we can see any past orders that they might have. So here, going into Basil Jones, I can see all of the past orders that we have associated with them. This is a very good feature if you're doing any kind of wholesaling, or if you have anything that's very hyper-specific. We have a few vineyards that do business with us, and they'll have people that will say, I don't remember what I got last time, but I loved it and I want to get a case of it. So you can come in and you can pull up whatever it is that they have here, and you can show all of their past orders within there as well. So other things that we can do within the client section is we can search by any one of these parameters. So if you want to use somebody's phone number as their client ID number, that's something we can do. We do have different notes that we can do. We can also do different types of a client as well. So if we have a loyalty program, plus we also have like a gift program, or we have like a wine of the month program, that's something that can be put in there as another feature for them. Other things that we have within the options section, we do have our delivery options here. Our gift card options are available here. We can activate new gift cards. We can deactivate them if we want to reuse gift cards. Some people like to use those gift cards for issuing their store credit. That's something that you can do there. We can check balances, and we can also load new balances. When we do load balances with gift cards into the system, payment has to be taken, and then the gift card is activated. So you don't have the situation where an employee can be abusing the gift cards if they get their hands on a stack of them. They can just issue a bunch and send them out to their friends. That's not something that can happen with the system the way we have it set up. All of the history that we have of our open orders since we've opened our register for the day is here. So if I needed to get into any one of the other orders that are as a manager, I need to apply discounts, I need to do line item comps, I can come in here and pull up any one of these other orders, and just by clicking on that, and now I can do any kind of modification that I would need to do to the order. Other things that we can do within our options menu is we do support house accounts. With the house accounts, we can check activity on them. We can see adjustments, and we can do manual loads and debits. So let's go ahead and select this guy here. So we can kind of see what we're doing with the house accounts. And what it is basically having a situation where people are paying ahead of time and then being debited against their account. One of our customers that uses this a lot is a smoothie shop that's right next to a gym. Generally, people don't have cash on them, so they allow them to do their house accounts and then debit against that, so that they don't have to actually worry about carrying a wallet with them when they come to the gym. But this can be used for like deposits on weddings, lots of different features that people do for the house account. We can do any manual adjustments there, and we can do any manual loads of the house accounts here as well. Okay, other things within the options menu is our loyalty program. Works pretty much the same way as the gift card would in terms of the card. You can also do virtual cards with the loyalty program, so that when you have one of your clients attached to the sale, it will show, it will automatically go onto their loyalty card, and it will automatically update any of the balances that they would need within that loyalty card. And then you can also see the cash redeemable balance that they would have there as well. So we can add points manually here if we need to. We can activate, deactivate. We can also check the balance, same as we would on a gift card, and we can do searches as well. We can do a price check from here if we are using the barcode scanner, and that will give us the ability to both scan for price and for stock. Our register functions are here. If we need to do petty cash disbursements, that's going to be supported there. Any details on the register, all of our open sales, all of our active sales for this specific employee that's logged in are going to be in this register here. So this, as an employee, I know that this is the cash that I am responsible for, that I need to give in at the end of the day. So it'll have everything broken down by tender. It will have all of our opening cash, any refunds that have been dispersed, any petty cash disbursements underneath my ID, all of that will be there available. We can also access the history from here, and if we needed to open the register, we can do that there as well. We can also do a till receipt, which is going to be a printed version of what you just saw in that detail. We do have SMS capabilities that we can do in the system where people will be able to be notified when their order is complete. That's a nice quick service feature. So if something's available for pickup, they'll get their text message that the order is complete and ready for pickup. We also have tip adjustment here. I don't know if we have any, no, we don't have any credit card transactions in there, but this would be where we would do a tip adjustment after the sale has already been closed. So if somebody has put down on they paid by their receipt and it's too busy for them to put in the tip at the time of sale, they can come back later and then do the tip adjustment. That's something that's a very good feature in terms of keeping things moving quickly in the QSR business, which is pretty much the name of the game for them. Okay, so this would be the basically what you're going to have for the front of the house. And let's go ahead and move on to the next section. We have a very basic punch clock, so punch in, punch out. We do have the option of kicking people out if they've been signed in for a certain amount of time or too long. We can see our 7, 14, and 30-day reports as an employee of how many hours that we have logged. Within our reporting section, we have over 90 reports. We are always adding new ones. We add custom reports all the time for new clients. Basically, the data is already there for us. It's just a matter of writing that report to be able to put it all in one location. So reports are very easy to do if we need to do anything custom or if there's something that somebody's looking for that's not available. In the event that they don't want to use our reporting or they have an accountant that wants to be, that's already using their own software or QuickBooks, we do sync with QuickBooks. So all of our reporting information will load into QuickBooks at 7 o'clock in the morning for the previous business day. So that is something that can be done. This is your basic breakdown of all of your sales that you have at a glance on your dashboard. So your daily sales and anything that's pending broken down by tenders there as well. We have all the different reports that are basically done by either this kind of graph format or they're going to be done in more of a data-driven table, as you can see here, more of a spreadsheet format. Anything that we have that's in this spreadsheet format, and this is our simple daily sales report, this is our basic payments that we have here, our basic categories of what we've sold, how everything breaks down, all of our totals. We can export this to a spreadsheet format, so if there's any one of these reports that we need to give to somebody, like certain states require alcohol sales to be reported and then sent in on a monthly basis to their alcohol, their tobacco, alcohol, firearms bureau. That's something that can be done very easily. Employee time reports, we have all of those in here. If you needed to just export that report and send it over to your payroll accounting specialist, that's something that can be done as well. We can change date ranges, so if we ever want to look at any kind of historical data on here, we want to go back and see exactly what happened on such and such a date. How did we do last week on the same day compared to this week? We can go in there. We can kind of see those trends. We do also have a sales trend analysis report that will show the position, the percentage rather, and change up and down of every single thing that you have available for sale. We can print these reports and we can also favorite them, and they'll come to the top of our accordion here on the left. Other kind of reports that we have here, we have reports based on products. So we can see like our top 10. We can see products that have no sales activity. We can see sales by an individual product. So if I want to know exactly how much I've sold of something, say the Caesar salad, I can select that individual product and go down to the individual level on reporting. Or we can go really, really broad and just kind of see how our categories are doing. We have different purchasing reports as well. We can see completed orders. We can see our stock receipts. We have inventory reports in terms of what's been added to stock, minimum stock levels that have been set, what's been subtracted from stock. So for monitoring waste or shrinkage, that's where we would go in there. Any register reports, we want to see details on what an employee's done. This is where we can pull up every single sale that they've had. Employee reports are here if we needed to adjust hours, if we need to look at time reports, see time summaries. We also have employee ticket averages, so you can kind of see who your top earners are. Receivables are here, so anything that we've invoiced, we have our 30, 60, and 90-day open invoices. Those are all of the outstanding payments that we have that need to be collected. House accounts are here. We can see all of our activity, our summary view that's going on the house accounts. We also have tax reports, non-taxable items, sales tax reports, taxable products, security measures. We can see anytime that an item's been comped, anytime it's been deleted, anytime we've had something voided, any discounts that have been taken, any gift cards that have been applied, any loyalty adjustments, any petty cash payouts, and anytime that a drawer has been opened without a sale. We have all of those in our security measurements, so you can really keep track of what's going on in all of the registers through the system. Credit cards are also there. We also have some refunding, some customers, our vendor reports, and our coupons. Okay, so into products. We have a very descriptive product management. There's a lot of different attributes that can be assigned to any one of the different products that are here. So we have everything broken down by category. We also have the subcategories. We have something called item kits as well, where if we want to break down an item based on its components so that we have our inventory adjusting for the different components within an item, that's something that we can do here with the item kit. So here you can kind of see with this barbecue chicken pizza, we have its pricing information, and these are all the products that are associated within the item kit. So we know that it has the dough, it has fresh basil, it has mozzarella cheese, it has the chicken, and it has the sauce. So everything that we need to be able to create this item is going to be in the item kit. And when we sell one of these barbecue chicken pizzas, then we will have all of these different items adjusting our inventory appropriately. Okay, so back to a simple product to kind of show you how that works. Go to the appetizers and pull up that artichoke spin dip. So we can apply up to 3 different UPCs or SKUs based on their different manufacturers. We have different suppliers for the same item. They have different UPCs that they're going off of. This is where we can find all of that information. If we wanted to put an extended menu description here, that would show up in the front of the house. And when we're actually doing the sale, that's an extended description that we have the option of putting in. We have the status of active or inactive, so if we have anything seasonal, we can change based on that. Or if there's something that is not going to be available, if you are like maybe a seafood purveyor and you only have certain fish certain times based on what is actually coming in off the boat, then you can make things active or inactive, and it will hide it on the front of the point of sale so that you don't have your employees selling things that you don't have available for sale. Our modifiers can be attached here. We can attach our force modifiers here as well, and we can also change the order of those. We have different forms of measurement. So if we have different case measurements, we're doing things by the pound. If it's an item that's part of an item kit and not an individual product, this is where we can do all of those different things there. And then we'll have our inventory adjusting appropriately. So if we sell a case of this and we know there's 24 per case, then we'll have that. But this is going to be in each item. We can put notes on these. So if we're using we do have a paperless kitchen module that is going to basically be where your new orders will come in on the screen and you tap them complete as they're completed, and that links into the SMS notification for a completed order. We can put in the notes on these different items here so that you can actually have the recipe here or how this item is supposed to be expoed, if it's supposed to be sprinkled with parsley, put on a tray with a napkin before it goes out to the customer, before it goes on the left, that kind of thing. You can put in with a note. Nutrition information is here. Pricing information. We do have both the price and the cost, and that will calculate profitability. And we also have discounts. You can program happy hours with this system. We allow for 2 different happy hours, and that discounted pricing will automatically click in during those happy hour times. Inventory can be changed manually here outside of a purchase order or stock receipt. So if we needed to adjust if this is something that we make in-house, we need to adjust up. Maybe we're going to add 20 here. We will be prompted for a reason why. We'll just say a new batch made. And then that will be logged in our inventory reports that we kind of went over briefly. And if I needed to adjust down for some reason, I could do that as well. I could say burned in oven. We do have multiple vendors that can be assigned to these different products. You can choose up to 3. You have your quantity year to date that you sold and also the number that you have in stock there as well. With the minimum stock, you can set a minimum stock, and when your item hits that minimum stock, you can notify either by email or by SMS that you have hit that threshold, so you know it's time to either reorder or remake this product. We do also have custom data fields, so if there's some other way that you want to be able to search across your product, maybe by vendor, by color, by here you have type of plate. That's something that we have as different ways that we can categorize these different items together as well. Okay, we do support barcodes, and you can generate barcodes for the different items as well. So if I wanted to, say for the Coke, we want to make our own barcodes for that, and I want to do 3 labels, I can easily generate labels for that. And we can print these out with our printer, and they're able to be just put right there on the product. Units of measure can be changed here if there's any other different ones that we need to place in there. Our modifiers are here. They're treated as products as well because they will need to be tracked in inventory. So our modifiers to add, take away our force modifiers. When we import either new items, maybe there's a change of menu or this is the first time that you're coming onto the system, we do have templates that are available for download, and it's basically fill in this spreadsheet and you can bulk upload all of the products at once instead of having to come in and add new products one by one. And it's just downloading that, filling that in, selecting your category, and then selecting the file that you're going to import and importing it into the system. And all of those different product attributes that you previously saw are going to be able to be automatically pulled into that product record. Purchasing is here. We do have our purchase orders, so I can kind of show you one that's already been put together. One that has multiple items. Let's do this one here. So our purchase orders, our invoices, and our stock receipts kind of all have the same layout. This is what they would be. They'd have your information, recipient, where the shipping information is. any terms that are on there, and all of the different items that have been placed into this purchase order. So you can kind of see the completed one. You have if there's a UPC associated, that goes in there. The description of the item, its unit cost, all that different information. And then we also have the email here for whoever is going to be our representative for the vendor that we need to send this purchase order into. To make a new one would be coming into here. We have all of our shipping information, making sure that's correct. If there's different payment terms, if we want to do that, we that 7. Go into our vendor. We select from our drop-down which all of our vendors, and based on the vendor that we have selected, it then will load up all of our different products. On our stock receipts here, we have all of the purchase orders that we've sent out. So basically, at this point in time, we've received our stock. We have the purchase order that is linked up to it. This is the same purchase order that you just saw that's already been sent out. So this is everything that we're supposed to be receiving. We've ordered 10, 24, 55, and 200. We have that everything is there. It has been placed in. If maybe something was short, we were shorted by 5 on the White Russians. You can put that in there, and you see that there is a balance available so that we know what we actually are supposed to be paying for. We can save and come back to this, or we could go ahead and close out that purchase order. And when we close that out, it's going to manually adjust our inventory, automatically rather, adjust the inventory. So everything that was on that purchase order is now going to have their inventory adjusted. So if we have a huge shipment coming in, we only have to process that purchase order, and we can have 50 to 60 items that can be updated there. We do also have the option of doing some bulk updates of the items when we're doing item management. So if you needed to change in bulk inventory pricing, modifiers that are being placed on different items, there's something that you can do so that you can do multiple ones at once instead of going product by product. We also have different stock measurements here. If we have multiple locations, we can do transfer stock. Stock transfers rather. So we can initiate a transfer of stock, and we are responsible for that until we have our stock accepted at the new store. So there is a paper trail. There's no he said, she said on where something's supposed to be. There's full accountability on that transfer of the stock. So it's everything that we would have here. This is what's being sent over. We've already initiated that stock transfer. And then this would be our acceptance. We would basically be doing it the same as we do with our purchase orders. So everything that they sent over, okay, she transferred 555. I do have 555. So I would just place that in as what I've accepted. And we approve that. So now if there's any kind of missing stock at the new store that it was transferred over to, whoever accepted it is now responsible. We can also do manual stock counts here. So by doing a barcode or entering in a product ID, we can see what we have on hand versus what is actually in the system. So if we have more or less that's actually on the shelves based on what's on the system, we can adjust that appropriately, and we have accurate numbers. Our vendor information is here, all the different vendors that you can apply, your vendor contacts, their phone, and then any coupons in the system are here as well. And you can kind of see when we do our coupons, we can choose a different type if it's a product level. And then from there we have a coupon code that we generate, a description, how many units, what the discount would be, its start and end date, and what the product it is that we're going to link it to. Okay. This is our basic employee management section. If we need to reset PINs, if we need to do anything else in terms of changing roles, changing what the status is, that can be all done here. And then we have a basic planner that can be used if we need to schedule things like any kind of stock that we're going to be getting in or any large parties that are done there. This one looks empty, but we can do, there we go, different events that can be placed into the calendars as well. And then this is just another access point for your client management system. Any updates that happen to the system, being that it is a cloud-based product, you're going to see them here. They're automatically pushed. Those updates to the system are going to be the same as with any kind of smartphone application. They're going to be bug fixes. They're going to be new features. They're going to be enhancements to the system, but we're never going to do anything that's going to drastically change the system that's going to affect the way people are doing business. This is more shoring up, adding new features, finessing the system, and just making sure that everything is working properly and optimally. Okay, so that's pretty much the system. Were there any questions that people had that we would like to go over or anything a little bit further?
Yes, Eric, I've got several good ones that come up that I'd like to just get your response on. So we have one that says, since it's cloud-based, what happens if a client's internet is down? I know there's a few different scenarios and so on, but if you can just give some feedback on the solutions there.
Sure. I will tell you, we do have in our pre-sales questionnaire, we do check for internet speed availability. Only once has it ever happened that we've had to deny a customer, and that was a vineyard that's in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and they are somewhere where they can only do satellite for internet. So that's the only time that we've ever had to say no to somebody in terms of their internet speed. But we do have a solution called CradlePoint. Kevin, did you want to speak on CradlePoint? I'll have Kevin answer that question. He's a
Okay, yeah. So we do have a solution. It is a product, as Eric was mentioning, called CradlePoint. And what it is this would plug into your existing internet connection, cable modem or broadband modem. It has a SIM card in it, and basically what you would do is it works supporting a GSM cellular service, so 4G LTE. So in the event that your internet connectivity would go down, CradlePoint would instantly fail over and use cellular. So rather than some of the other systems that are out there which work offline and do a concept that's called store and forward, which basically is really not PCI compliant, it's storing payment information. We don't do that. So in the event your connection is down, your traditional connection, it'll fall back on cellular, and you'll still be able to accept credit cards and transact and be in business. And when the connection comes back, instantly it reverts back. So it really helps protect your business. So hopefully that does clarify that question.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Eric and Kevin. All right, one other question. Can you color code all tabs? And I'm assuming that can be done, but I just want to get your feedback on that.
In terms of color coding the tabs, we have the ability to customize the colors on our different categories down here and everything that goes underneath the category. So we have two ways that people usually use that. They'll either, do something to kind of reinforce what the item is, like so they'll do like green on their salads, they'll do brown on their coffees, they'll do reds on their wine. Or if we have a color scheme that's already being done in terms of our branding, our marketing that we have for the restaurant, like we have a barbecue, all their colors are black, yellow, and red, so they have all of their buttons that's black, yellow, and red in the system. And then as far as the tabs, when we start new tabs and based on what we have for the order of the tab, I'll just do somebody real quick in here. Based on the point that we are at in the order for a tab, the color can change. So we have it so if somebody has a tab that's been created but nothing's been added to it, you see it's blue. If we have something added to it, it's maroon. If we've taken if we've taken payment by card, then that changes to green. And if we've already applied the tip after we've taken card payment, it's lime green. So you can, if you want to leave all of your tabs open, you can go through and look based on the color, which ones are the ones that are active, which ones have just been created, and which ones you've taken payment that you don't really need to look at again. So in terms of that kind of color coordination, that's something that you can do as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, then when you modify an order, does it resend the entire order or just the new items?
No. Let's pull up Mary. I can show you that. We've already sent it in, so it's gone gray. So if we have something else that we're going to put in there, like I'll put in this wedge, blue cheese, that's all of our new items that have not yet been sent into the kitchen. Once I send it into the kitchen on my side, it goes gray, it's been sent, it's already been committed. And the kitchen just received the wedge, they didn't receive that barbecue chicken pizza. So if we need to do coursing, that's how we can do coursing. If you wanted to have appetizers first, put that in, then your other items, then you can send that. Same as if you had people that were coming back, so you wanted to put a dessert or something, or you've already gotten to the tender screen and somebody says, oh, you know what, I'll take these 3 bags of chips too. You can come back and you can still add things to it up until the time that we've actually closed out the payment. You can continue to add to the order.
All right, very good. Okay, how about an email or receipt feature? Is that an option?
It is. So if we've accepted our payment here, after we've taken payment, it's not going to be enough. Neither is that, 230. From our ticket menu, we can email to the customer.
Okay, good. All right. And client add-on software like QuickBook Online for reporting, is there just a direct connection to QuickBooks like that, or is it exporting reporting that then gets imported into QuickBooks?
Right. It is a direct connection. I can have Kevin expound on that a little bit more.
Okay, so your sales-related information, you would need a QuickBooks Online account, okay, and you would need to authorize us, okay, and there's basically a link that you click. It authorizes us to, on your behalf, post your sales data. And there is a process that runs once a day, 6:30 in the morning, EST, and it will just basically send your daily sales figures, sales and related information over to QuickBooks. Okay, but you will need QuickBooks Online.
Good. Okay. All right. And then can you print out a report to take manual inventory or for reordering purposes?
As far as our inventory reports, we have all of the different inventory reports that you would want here. So if you wanted to see all of your activity where you have on hand and you wanted to have a paper copy while you're going through and doing your manual count, you can do that. Or we have in the product section within the stock, when we do our count stock, I can do my product ID here. Let's see, do we have Art pinned it? Usually this is done by barcode. So by putting in the barcode, we can get all of that product information, and it will show here what we have on hand in the system. So if this was 50 that we have in the system, and we wanted to make sure we actually had that, this is where we could do our on-hand count. We could put that in as well, and it will adjust our inventory based on what we have on hand.
Okay. I think the question in regard to, for instance, going around maybe a small store or a stock room and doing some kind of a manual inventory. Is there, a report that can then, keep a tally on and then be updated and so on?
Yes, that would be in the inventory report. This system can work on a tablet, so we do have people that, generally speaking, that have the larger inventory. What they will do is they'll get a license key to put the system on a tablet. They'll do the Bluetooth scanner that has a range of 6 feet, and they'll have the scanner in their one hand, and they'll have the tablet in the other hand, and they'll just scan the barcodes of all their different items, scan the tags that they need to do for their counting of the stock, and they can have everything that's right there in front of them on their other hand on the tablet. So that's something that's very easy for people to use, especially if they have a warehouse situation.
Very good. Excellent option. Okay. Then another question about tableside and tablet ordering, and that coincides with that tablet there. So if you want to speak to that there.
Yeah, we do support the tableside tablet ordering. We have a setting that you have as a role that's a tablet user, where you can have the tablet being used for ordering only. You're not taking payment. When you do that, the subscription for that register key is a little bit less expensive because you're only using it for ordering purposes. So if you have any kind of setup where you're not taking payment at the table, maybe there's, the hostess takes payment as you leave at the bakery case or whatever, or we have like a bridal boutique where there's the one register that takes payment, but they build the order through the tablet while they're actually dealing with the bride-to-be. That's something that can be done. So you can basically have this situation where it's only ordering, or if you wanted to do the whole process at the table, we do have the dongles that can be put onto the tablet so that they can still take cards through the tablet. So obviously they can still take cash payments, and they can have basically everything that they would need to do there. If there's a printer that would be routed to, so that they just have to go to the printer to pull up the receipt to give to the customer, but everything else can happen at the table.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, then one other here. Does the system sync up with payroll processing software and vendors regarding employee hours for payroll processing? I know you can get reports on that, but is there a sync at all for any payroll solutions?
Currently, no, there is not.
Okay. All right, good. But you can get full reporting exported that can then be imported into a payroll system. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All of our different employee measurements here. So this would be like the brief time summary of our different employees, and if we wanted to have detail, we can get into there. And these can all be exported and then sent into any third-party program. And then also our adjustment of employee hours is here as well. So if for some reason we needed to adjust based on somebody they forgot to punch out or they forgot to punch in and didn't realize it until they went to ring in their first sale and they've been working for free for 45 minutes, you can adjust that.
Okay, good. Can entree ordering be auto-delayed so that it doesn't come out right at the heel of the appetizers, I guess, in that case?
As in, yeah, we do not have currently that supported. What we do is we basically just suggest to do coursing. Generally speaking, we always try to go based on best business practice. And most restaurants, they have, especially chain restaurants or multiple locations that have a lot of different policies in place. There's, appetizers have to be out in 3 to 7 minutes. Entrees have to be out in 9 to 14 minutes. Those kinds of things. So based on when you put it into the system, you can do that kind of delay. But in terms of setting in that function, it's not currently supported, no.
Okay. Can you just speak briefly to just some of the delivery features that would be available for like a pizza shop or where items are being taken out and delivered? Is there any kind of mapping? Is there any kind of off-site tracking of the, whether or not a delivery was actually confirmed and that type of thing?
Yep, we have, let me go ahead and do a delivery order right now. I'm going to attach the client to it. So based on our client here, we'll do Basil Jones again. You can see the map, and this will show the mapping to show you whether or not this person is within our delivery service area. It shows you the distance in miles, and so based on the radius that you have or any other kind of weird things. I used to run a restaurant in Key West. We would not deliver off the island. So if I saw that somebody's address is not on the island but is maybe 2 away, I could say no. This is something that is there. And once we go ahead and attach them to the sale, we'll have all of that information that will carry over onto the receipt. So we'll have all of the address information, their phone number will be on the receipt. So if the driver has that information, they also have the ability to see, and you can see this information here as well that's been attached. So all of our delivery details for the order are right there. So we do have that. And then once we've put our order together, I'm just going to put a few things on here. Send that in, and because we set this as a delivery, we have further delivery options. Here are instructions on how to get to this location. I can assign the driver. So these are all of the drivers that I have. If I want to assign this one to, I'm going to go ahead and do it to Travis. So Travis is now responsible for this order. It's going to be tracked in the system that he is the person that is accountable for this order. And we can set a delivery time as well. So if somebody is ordering something ahead, they want it to be delivered for they have a kids party and they want pizzas to come in at 3, then you can do that. Or if it's just an ASAP delivery, you can do that as well. Update those details, and that's all been tracked both in the back and it's going to be reflected on the receipt. So if there's some kind of an issue, the person calls and says, somebody took a bite out of my pizza, you can pull up the receipt, you can see who was the delivery driver assigned, and you can be like, it was fine when it left the store, what happened, Travis? So all of that information can be there as well. And then if we need to, just real quick, we could either have set this up under tabs if we wanted to kind of be able to easily go back to it here, or from here, if we just do a new sale, we do just a dine-in one, whatever we needed to do, and just kind of go into the next sale. If we need to pull this up again in our options and history, we'll see our Basil Jones is right here with our delivery icon. So we see that it's unpaid. So Travis has come back with the cash that he needs to pay for this order. So we'll just click on that order. And then from our ticket, we're able to accept payment.
Okay. Is there any kind of an option for mobile receiving of payments by the delivery person themselves? Like a credit card payment, for instance, using a mobile device.
So basically, within the next week, week and a half, we will be releasing an update to our tablet solution, and there's a native piece of software that runs on it. And if you get the appropriate card reader, you'd be able to, providing you're using some kind of cellular service on your tablet, you'd be able to accept payment right then and there.
Excellent. Could that be done on a mobile phone as well as a tablet, or just a tablet?
Unfortunately, due to the size of the screen, minimum that we require is 10 inches, so that would be an Android tablet or a iPad.
And so at that time, then the driver or delivery person could then mark that item as delivered into the system as well?
Correct. And the other point to note, Eric showed you the example of where he updated a delivery order. Within our system, actually the business owner would specify whether they want their drivers to get an email notification or an SMS notification that there's a new order. Okay, so if they get a email notification, it actually has a embedded link where they can click on it, and it gives them door-to-door directions to that location.